walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me.
What happened?
I've been flying from town to town.
Why? You don't want her to join? Oh. Before you do, bro, before you do, you know how smart Mobile Legends is, man. Fucking hell. This event of collecting skins today, I bet you they gather more than $5 million up, man. You know what? The first thing I hear after the event, Kunava telling me she recharged 5,000 diamonds, man, to get 160k. Europeans, man, Europeans. Now imagine the people in Kuwait and the Saudi countries. Ya Allah. I have people on my friend list that were on like 120k. Bro, just today they went 180. What the fuck, man? So what did you want to do?
I need you to listen, I need you to hear.
Alright.
And don't show.
You listen flying some show from them. Yes, sir.
From town to town. From London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah.
What happened to the African women team?
Tonight, we will fly above the
I know, but why don't you play anymore? Yeah, they haven't opened the game like they did. At least one of them has a nice placebo. I can't complain. What are you gonna kill me? What you doing, man? Alright.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Alright. I'm in. Watch what? Tournament? What the fuck? How did you get into this lobby? Do I have to click any? How did you get in here? Take your time. Take your time. مع بعض الصراحة سناب فيها أمر أي حاجة يجي شمرك محل
Hey yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back
بالضبط.
to the main stage, the main knockout stage, actually. And this is going to be the semi-finals, and it's going to be Outwits Esports versus Oasis. And joining me today is going to be Fade. He's from Jordan, so he's from a different server. Might give us a different perspective for today's draft. How you doing, Fade?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Back at it with another match.
True love.
All right, Fade, this is going to be your first match watching the Nigerian server. And I'll tell you from the very beginning, all right, these are two strong teams, contenders for the first place. And as you can see, we do have this lobby where we're going to have 5 bans on each side. And starting off from the side of Outwit Esports, we have already the Xborg, the Minotaur. On the side of Oasis, we have the Carmilla, and well, we're choosing the second one. What do you think of the band so far? Actually, it's gonna be Dyrot.
I do what I want.
Well, those bans I think are new to me because in my server I don't see Minotaur, Xborg, and Darrow banned. The Carmilla is understandable because she's good in 5Q and she can counter the enemies really hard. So
That is true, but in a tournament setting, remember, this is a little bit different from the ranked games, right? So the tournament lobby is a little bit more strategic in the way that you draft. For example, you want to ban out the Xbox if you want to go like this sustain or tanky draft, right?
in my opinion, if you ban Xborg, I think what you wanna go for is Terizla because Terizla can dominate team fights, can dominate in his lane, and can just take the front line better than a tank could.
That is true. I mean, we saw in a recent MSC match, the Xbox just was able to chunk out the Terizla, even a recent Nigerian match actually. But to be honest, good Terizla versus a good Xbox, Terizla should be able to apply a decent amount of pressure in the lane against this Xbox up until, I would say, the 6th minute mark, when the Xbox is able to sustain himself due to the war axe and some tanky items. But looking at it, Outwit Esports, they complete the first banning phase with the Vexana and Harith for the side of Oasis. Now locking in will be the Lilia for the side of Outwit Esports, and Oasis will pick up the Sicilian and the Yuzong as well. So, Fade, I know you play a lot with the global Sicilian. What do you think about this pick versus the Lilia in the lane?
I'm actually really shocked that the Sicilian is good and all against Lilia, and he can really take her down easily at any time of the match, but even when he doesn't have his stacks. But in my opinion, those picks at the beginning of the draft are weird to me. This is the weirdest draft I've ever seen in a while, except for the Ruby, of course. Even the Yuzong, because if you pick them first, they can counter you a little bit maybe. But where's Roger? Where's Julian? Where are the broken heroes? Where's Hayabusa?
Yeah,
Here's the Roger, here you go.
Mentioning the Roger, we see it picked up here. But yes, I mean, we have been talking about the mechanics of the draft and how we would like to prioritize certain heroes above all. Of course, it's the Ling, the Roger, Hayabusa a little bit debatable on that one. Julian also a good one. So for me, it's the Ling, the Roger, and the Julian that are the best above all, because they are flex picks, right? Julian mid or jungle, Roger gold or jungle, and the Ling is just jungle, but he is strong enough to just be prioritized. Above that, we have the Lawi as well. That's in a 5-man setting, of course. It's justified, right? Even the chip as well. Barat is gonna be banned out in the second phase of the banning phase. But yeah, and the Bellary pick as well. So
I like the Ruby pick right here because Ruby can help a little bit with the Roger, and she can counter the Yuzong when he comes flying with his ult in the middle of the team fight.
The same,
Yeah.
the same can be said with the Belleric, right? My only problem is that for Ruby and Belleric to be picked at the same time is kind of counterintuitive in that the Ruby can be flexed to the roam, right? She can be used as a roamer. So to make it
Yeah,
a little
true.
bit more difficult for your opponents, you want to kind of throw a little bit of spice into the mix. For example, if we had the Lilia, is fine, and then we had the Ruby, and then let's say we had a a jungler, right? Just for example. So already Ruby can be flexed to gold, as we've seen in some MSC matches.
Yeah, yeah, true.
She can be
That's true.
flexed to roam, and she can just be in EXP lane. So it gives the opponents a little bit of something to juggle with in terms of, you know what, how is Outwit Esports going to plan this? And Oasis, they have it down for a little bit. They don't have a marksman just as yet, so the Roger is still debatable whether you should go into the gold or jungle, and that's why Outwit Esports, they have banned out the link because they do know that the Roger is not a fixed position. They have banned out the
Considering
Grok as well.
considering that they haven't picked the marksman yet, I think they will go for something different, like a Hellcourt maybe like gold lane, but not marksman, because marksman nowadays are easily countered and easily picked up in the early stages of the game if ganked. So I think they will go for something different, but we will see. The server is new to me still. As
Yeah,
we can see, I don't see a marksman yet, so it's gonna be Ruby gold lane. This is
yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean already. So Oasis have a little bit of knowledge now on how to deal with the drafts concerning their last pick, and we have the Mincetar, we have the Ruby, and we have the Brody, right? So I think if Oasis wants to go for a marksman, they have to go something long range, like for example a Clint, that's able to poke the enemies without actually getting close to them.
I think Irithel works because she can kind of move inside like Mincetar's ult, and she can shoot and move around the Ruby also. Even with the Lilia, with her sprint, she can counter the Lilia also because slowdown is deadly in 5Q. So I think the Irithel is a good pick, especially that she benefits from sprint.
Yeah, that would be the case, but remember they do have a Belleric.
A Belleric, yeah, true.
So
But I think the Roger's gonna take down Belleric before he can even ult at some point of the match.
maybe,
The Roger is gonna be a hard counter.
maybe, but we do still have to deal with the okay. This loading screen is a little bit wrong, but bear with me, guys. Just a little bit of mistake on our side. Just know that Oasis is at the bottom, and Outwit Esports is at the top. Um, Here's the thing, right? So Belleric already, as you can see, he does have the brave smite for a little bit extra sustain. He does have tenacity as well as the agility for some extra movement. On top of that, the vengeance to make sure that he's not burst down as fast as the Roger can possibly do so. On top of that, they have the Ruby for extra peeling, who also has Brave Smite. It might just be tough for the Roger to actually perform in this match if Outwit Esports play their cards right.
That's true. But I think that in late game, the team with the Sicilian, Roger, Lolita, Yuzong is gonna outdo any other set. Like it doesn't matter what team you have, you will be countered really hard if you don't think every move you do. Especially with the Sicilian in the back line, it's deadly. One hit and you are gone.
Yeah. I mean, Sicilian is a popular pick in the Nigerian server for some of these players who are really comfortable on this pick. And we have Rockstar Alfie just applying a little bit of pressure on the Hanzo. And Retribution going to be committed here. Fast jumping for the Hanzo, but of course Roger has a little bit more presence in the map considering he's useful at already level 3, right?
The Lolita is pressuring them, trying her best, but I think she's failing so far because Hando can't really be countered in his own jungle. At
It's
least till he's level 4, you can try against him.
To be honest, it's
But
not so much of harassing that he is trying to do. It's more like information, right? So she can give information of the Belleric, of the Hanzo, which allows the Roger in the bottom lane to be a bit more aggressive in the lane, right? Allows Itami as well on this Irithel to kind of poke out God Skov. And we're gonna have the Pinnacle Ninja going over onto Anti-Pipe. Just doing a little bit of poke damage. Might just be able to claim the kill here. And first blood.
Sicilian goes down right there.
Yeah, Trevor. A little bit of danger. Will get the kill onto Loki. And a quick escape as Master is gonna fall down as well after the stun from Rockstar Alfie. That's a 2-for-1 trade. I mean, the roam, not so much of a problem, but the mage for mage, still.
This fight shows you why Roger should be always banned. He just picked the Belleric and went out on 0 HP using his shield like it was nothing. He just walked out, and he's gonna walk back really soon.
Yeah, he didn't even have to go to the base. He just went back to his jungle and pretended like nothing ever happened. But I mean, this is pretty good for Oasis right now. They have a kill for their jungler. They have a kill for their marksman as well. Will definitely help for the early game. And the Mayua claiming his level 4 has a black dragon form available. Now you see the problem with this Hanzo, not so good at actually doing the turtle, right? More like sealing it. Luminous Blast, Luminum Blast gonna come through, stuns up Danny as Master Chris as well. Black dragon form gonna be committed. Danny falls. Wrath of Dry gonna come through as well as the King's Calling. Trevor taken quite low. Manages to escape. Mayura get a 2-man sacrifice. Shut down going over to Neo. But in the back line, Itami gets a double kill.
Lethal picking up the kill is great. This is gonna give them a chance to not just like keep the turtle safe, but to keep their jungle. They got the kills, they got everything so far, and I think that their enemies will struggle in the late stages of the game.
Yeah.
If they get to reach it, that is.
Of course, if they don't get a shutdown onto the Earthal, it might just be a problem. In situations like these, when you don't pick a marksman, you have to get a goal lead. Otherwise, that very marksman that you don't actually give priority to will give you a lot of problems later on.
In my opinion, in such situations, what you have to do is leave the turtles, like give them and go gank your gold lane, because as we can see, Insitar is struggling right there. Earthil with her sprint can't really die to him so far in the game.
Yeah.
So he's really helpless there.
Yeah, Loki gonna get the Luminum Blast taken on him, uses the Wrath of Dryad, but not able to survive that, as we're gonna see the Pinnacle Ninja on the back line trying to get Anti-Pipe. Does a lot of damage, and he just uses the Cyclone boost to be able to get away and heals that straight back up. In the bottom lane though, Goskov is gonna have to be careful. Members of Outwits Esports 2 backing up. Oh, we're gonna see
Ruby right here is struggling to survive, and I think they will pick her up.
yeah,
Yes,
still
Ruby is
going
gone.
over to the Sicilian 2-man Luminum Blast. Neo is fighting amongst them on his own, not able to sustain the Pinnacle Ninja. The Wrath of Dryad goes on to Trevor, locks him into the turret. Rockstar Alfie gonna get taken out by Master Chris, but he falls to Anti-Pipe actually. Ayua gonna go back in, diving on the turret for Loki, as Anti-Pipe gets a double kill, as well as claims a tier 1 turret. In the bottom lane, Itami going for that red buff to choke out Hanzo even more. To be honest, even if somehow Outwits Esports gets back the goal lead, of course we need about 2 or 3 items. Oh, actually I'm offended onto Anti-Pipe. He's stuck in a terrible situation. Circus might just be able to get the kill. Kill goes over to Danny. But as a trade, Oasis does get the third turtle of the game.
I think what they need to do right now is just play safe and gank the Aerithal because he's the one with the bounty right now, and this bounty could be really helpful to them
Yeah,
to go
already, I
back
mean,
in
we
the
can
game.
see the damage coming through onto Godskov. I mean, the Aerithal chunked out a lot of HP, and that's what allowed Alfie to claim the kill under his own turret. And there's 5 kills on Itami's head, and there's a lot of gold that will go over if they manage to shut him down.
Yeah, that's a big bounty on Aerithal right there.
Trevor, playing with danger, that is the Ruby, manages to just jump out before he even uses the I'm offended. But the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane gonna fall. Let's have a quick look at the items when nothing crazy is going on. Already the Clock of Destiny built over on the Sicilian with the Lightning Truncheon. That's gonna give him a little bit extra defense to deal with this Hanzo. The early game, the damage boost as well with the speed up. And the Crow.
The Yuzong build that attracted my attention, to be honest, because I've never built this or seen it built on a Yuzong. I don't know if I'm mistaken right there, but oof, man. He's building just every item in this shop for some reason.
You're gonna see the Wrath of Drive gonna come through. Mayua gets taken down because he just jumped into the turret. Loki as well gonna fall over to Ithami as he claims a 6th kill for himself. That's a 1-for-1 trade. Aroma for an EXP laner. That's a trade we're willing to make, right? Especially at this stage of the game. But as for Mayua's build on this Yuzong, understand that Lolita is a support slash tank, right? She's not a main tank. She doesn't have the sustain of a main tank, for example, like Bellaric or Tigreal or even Minotaur, right? Minotaur is also a bit questionable because some players prefer to use to rush the Flask of Oasis. So he is a little bit squishy in the early game as well. So with that
In my
mind,
opinion,
yeah.
when the enemies have a Roger, I think you shouldn't just pick a tank. You should go a tanky XP lane and just let the roamer be an assassin. Maybe Saber would have been more helpful to pick up the Erythel, the mid lane. Even the Roger could be killed by a Saber. So I think the Billy right here is mostly helpless because he's getting picked up easily due to the lack of items, and it's really taking them back so far.
You see, I understand what Outwits Esports wants to go for, right? I like the idea of the King's Calling, the Mensitar out, plus the Wrath of Dryad to lock them in. So I can see the idea behind it. It's just that they're not executing it properly, right? They're not able to get that shutdown on the Retail man, help the, like, you know, allowed her to get to those amount of kills, even though Irrital isn't really a good marksman, right? You never see Irrital in any...
So you usually see a flawed or a broken marksman.
Yeah. Irrital, I mean, I've tested her myself. Not really that strong. In certain situations can be used to kite the enemies. I'm offended with the flicker, gonna miss out completely. But a valiant effort for the side of Danny. So yeah, like I said, I do understand what they're trying to go for. Hopefully they do manage to to execute their plan, and that's actually what's going to save them the game. But
that's
yeah,
true.
for the side of Outwits for Oasis and the Yuzong build, remember the Yuzong is basically their main front line, so he needs to be as tanky as he can, right? You could say he should have at least gotten the War Axe for extra sustain and extra damage as well. That's debatable, of course. But yeah, I think this build is perfectly fine as well.
It is fine, and the next item probably is gonna be anti right there, and
he does
they will dive them for sure.
Yeah, he does have the items for the War Axe. He does have the items, of course, as well for either the blade armor or the dominance ice. So we'll see what he comes up with. As for and talking about what I said about him being the only front line, look at the Lolita build, right? So he's going like the full support Lolita build with the shield and whatnot. So that brings my point even more clearer on why this Yuzong needed to be a front line. I'm not sure if Oasis need a pause or whatnot. Let me just contact the mods.
I see a big lord fight about to happen. You don't want to miss this.
Yeah. Checking in. King's Calling gonna come through. Alfie stuck with the armor fenders as well as King's Calling. Danny gonna get taken out as Itami uses the Wind of Nature, and now Masako is the last one left alive.
A wipe out for an ace.
We'll get
That was a great job.
yeah, we'll get taken out. Unfortunately, just a really bad fight, right? I don't think Outwit Esports managed to. I don't think they saw the amount of gold that they lacked.
I think they should have given the Lord and just waited base and tried to defend it as their best chance of winning. But what they did right there, competing with the Lord with this big difference of gold, was a big mistake.
100%. Even I didn't notice the gold difference until that team fight happened, and I was like, yo, you know, at a 5,000 gold difference, that wouldn't have happened, but it was more than 10,000. And then I was like, yo, how did Outwit Esports not see this? And that's actually what cost them the game. Just going for that Lord, even though it was a 10,000 gold lead. Sure, one Lord after, maybe you can contest, but not at that moment. You know, it was just too much. And that gave Outwit Esports the ability, I mean not Outwit Esports, Oasis the ability to just end the game then and there.
I mean, even if you are trying to compete the Lord, why would you do it with the entire team if you have a Hanzo? You could try as your best chance to just send the Hanzo's ult to try and retrieve the Lord from the enemies. If it doesn't work, your best chance is just to defend, especially against such enemies that really can counter you.
Yeah, that is true. Utilizing the Pinnacle Ninja in times of desperate need, that should have been Outwit Esports' main kind of contingency plan, but we didn't get to see that happen. But yeah, in the meantime, while we will be waiting for the next match, stay tuned. Also, there is a giveaway. That giveaway we mentioned yesterday of 269 diamonds. If you're interested in participating, just subscribe to the channel, take a screenshot of it, send it to the NMA Discord channel, and yeah, you'll be automatically entered. So speaking of that, we're just gonna rush in to the next game.
Now they have to watch out for who they ban and who they pick, especially the Roger pick. It was like a deadly pick right there in the early game, and the late game, and the mid game. They didn't even get to reach the late game with it. And they need to really be careful with the gold lane pick because the gold lane can change the entire game from mid to late game usually, but mostly in late game, the gold lane is gonna be deadly.
I do what I want.
Yeah, I think what could have made the game a little bit better is if they prioritized the Ruby to go to the gold lane, because she can basically manage that Irithel, right?
That's true.
She can essentially even win the lane. I haven't tried it myself. I'm not sure on the technicalities, but maybe she can win that lane rather than the Minotaur, who the Irithel can just kite around his abilities, right?
Even if a Ruby didn't win, she can still cut the lane or freeze it or anything against an Earther, really. As we can see, we are seeing the same bans right here: Dyroth, Carmilla, Xborg, Minotaur, and Zask, the new ban, which is after his balance today. I don't think he got nerfed at all, so it's a good ban right there.
Yeah, we also see the Lilia ban from the side of Outwit Esports, because people who know and watch the Nigerian content, the the tournaments and whatnot, we all know that Anti-Pipe is a real menace on that Lilia. It doesn't matter what you pick, he's just going to be extra aggressive, and and yeah, just make your life very difficult on that Lilia.
Even when all is
And the
forlorn.
Vixana is
And
gonna
he
be
got to pick a Vixana. She's gonna be the great frontline for her team. I hope they just match with her with the picks so that they can have the damage, the frontline, the tankiness, all that.
Rise beyond greatness.
you know
And
the
reignite
the thing about the
star.
Nigerian server that we need to understand when it comes to these
Only love
priority
and
picks
night
is that they do
everlasting.
not have, how can I say, like a reliable internet connection, right? So they can be, some of them play on the same ping as you do, like 70, 80.
You will
Uh,
lose
some of
everything
them,
in
if
the
they're
wind.
lucky, they sitting on a
Sun
20
rises
to
when I give
30,
the
but it
word.
spikes. It's quite
In
unreliable.
my opinion, that's an extra great reason for them to pick Hillcourt because Hillcourt is the good friend of Bad Pink. He can he can do everything basically. Even after his nerf that came out today, I still think that he's one of the best heroes in gold lane, in my opinion, not in jungle, because he can clear his lane, help his team, invade the jungle. He can do basically everything. He can even help stealing turtles, lords, and in late game he
I might
can
not
pick
be
off
a
the enemy
living
marksman
man, but
really
I
easy,
do know my
even
trade.
using Wind of Nature.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, let's take this argument for example, right? Hellcut, you want to be off the map, okay? You want to be off the
That's
map
true.
to put pressure on the map itself onto those opponents. Similar with the Kadita, right? Why Kadita isn't generally used as a mid laner because you want to be able to,
Yeah, you wanna roam.
yeah, you not to want. You don't want to be able to be burdened by the minions like, yo, I want to go top lane, but I got these minions to clear. It's going to take me a billion years to clear the lane, and so on and so forth. That's why they use the Hellcut as the roam by Beloski. The Kadita as the roam as well. We know Keyboys really likes this roam as well, and that's for that certain fact of the map pressure. So I think Hellcut as the roam, I won't say no. Hellcut as a jungle, I also won't say no because you're gonna be in your jungle quite a lot, and the
That's
enemies,
true.
the opponents won't have vision on you. But yeah, as we can see from the draft so far, we have Trevor, Underling, Mayua, with Khalid, Godskov picks up the Yuzong, Marcel, Chris, the Sicilian, and we're gonna probably, yeah, we're gonna definitely have a Barat in the jungle right there. For the bans, the Lolita are going to be banned out. So does the Claude. Aside of Oasis, the Mincetar, and the Florin. Of course, we want the Mincetar banned out. I think Mincetar stops the first and third skill of Khalid. For the Ling, it's just an overall counter. Very difficult to actually be able to play Ling with the Mincetar on the field. But yeah, we're going to, like 2 patches ago, with the side of Outwits Esports just playing what they know best. Might just lock in the Matilda here since the Florin is banned out.
I think right now what they need isn't really a marksman or just your casual roamer. They need something that's tanky, that has like defense, healing, everything. Lolita is banned as we can see, so they can't have all those benefits.
I see
As we
lots
can
of
see, they
gray.
picked the Roger because he can survive in gold lane alone since they won't be able to invade him. And they picked the Grok also because he can really be helpful. Oh, Tigri.
Yeah,
Tigri are going against those enemies wouldn't work. We can see the chip pick right there, which I think also would be pretty much helpful for the Roger to help him not get ganked because as we can see his team won't be really supported because they are slow at moving between lanes. And generally and overall I think that oof, the team with the Yuzong, Barat, Matilda, Sicilian, Clint, this is the team I would never want to be against.
Yeah, assuming they use the Matilda to its best like potential, of course. Also, at the same time, I I hope they don't pick the Irithel here. I certainly hope they don't. I would much prefer the Flint, but no, we'll go for the Irithel just to kite the Eternal Guard. Might just be able to deal with the Ling as well, the Khalid probably as well. Um, Able to dodge the shots coming from the skill 1 of Roger, so might just work out. As for Rockstar Alfie on the chip, I can see it work, but my problem is that one of the counters for the chip is that um, like hard lock crowd control, which the Barats does have with the Thornus Welcome. So if Rockstar Alfie isn't careful, before he even uses his teleport, his his what do you call it, his portal, not sure what the alt name is called, uh, he might just be taken off. But to be honest, I might have just preferred a carry for the side of Outwit
That's true.
Esports.
That's true. And I think that the chip is gonna be like helpful, and at the same time, he's gonna be a curse because imagine the user following you across the portal just using his ult. I wouldn't want to be in the middle of that team fight because seeing that dragon while you are using your skills middle of team fight, it's gonna be chaos right there, and you wouldn't even expect it.
Yeah, but one of the things that a lot of players, I mean, of course, it just depends on the communications from the teams, right? On how,
Yeah.
when, and how to use the portal from the chip. Um, some players they do find it a little bit difficult to actually locate the portal. No, I experienced it myself. Like, yo, enemies are here. Where you at, bro? Like, nah, I can't find the portal, bro. No, where it is. Sitting in some book. But yeah, that can be an issue. At the same time, they do have the link for their global presence. The chip as well gives that, of course. But the Matilda for fast rotation is close, but needs to be careful here. Gets taken out as a first blood by Mayua, and that is what we can expect from the fast rotations of the chip. But Itami taken quite low himself in the bottom lane. It should be quite fine though. Doesn't look like they're gonna put too much pressure. Then on the other hand, needs to be quite careful. It's taken quite low. Itami.
As we can see, Ling is coming right there from the corner,
Yeah, he
taking
is
the
in the
jungle
corner.
before he takes the Roger down.
But will he be able to claim that kill? Rockstar Alfie going straight in. We're gonna see the guy.
That irrital right there.
Yeah. That's where it's all goes. Yo, the Tonus Welcome gonna miss out completely. Rockstar Alfie doesn't have his spells and he'll get taken down as a trade. But it's perfectly fine for the side of Oasis.
I just don't get it. Why would you pick Chip with a Roger and a Link? Because they already have like the fastest rotation right now in the game, and they can just be with you within seconds. So what you needed is just a front line for them to take objectives and just be helpful in front. I
I
think Chip doesn't have the CC right there.
he does have like a decent amount of CC. I think that they want to, okay, we're gonna see the Eternal Guard and Chip goes in for another hit, but he's gonna fall as well given the Barats a double kill. Antipipe might just want to get, okay, she claims a double kill right there in the bush, and there'll be a trade going towards Oasis, and Danny takes
That was a magnificent double kill. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, Antipipe read that well. The positioning was great as well, of course. So for me, of course, we have the fast rotations, right? Can catch up with the Ling. We're gonna see the Tempest of Blaze come through. Monster has a lightning pounce on him by Itami, but when it's fall, Itami has to flick out there, so that's one resource used up by him. So the chip can follow up with those fast rotations, right? Coming in from the Roger, from the Ling as well. I think someone paused it by accident. We're just gonna go in right. Oh, okay. It's not
No,
done.
someone is pausing.
Okay. I think someone might have called for a pause right there. A little bit weird timing, but okay. Let's just talk a little bit about the chip pick with these Roger and Ling. So of course, let's just say for example, yo, Ling says, I'm in the bottom lane. I see a kill right here, and this Eritrea is half HP, but I don't have enough damage to kill her without dying myself, right? It'd
So
be
I'll
like,
just call for the chip.
yeah, so the chip comes through, we'll be like, yo, I'll tank the turret for you, goes in, and that's a clean kill already, right? So there is that part as well. And the Roger has the speed up, has that mobility to go into the portal, help his team on the other side of the map, and then just sprint back to the portal and go back to his lane. So there is that, of course, as well. They could have gone for different tank for sure, but I think their idea, you must understand what the draft is like, how you want to play the game as well. So if they probably thought, you know what, we want to make this a fast rotation type of game where we overwhelm Outwit Esports with pressure on different parts of the map at the same time. 1 second, 1 second Chip and Ling is in the bottom lane. Next second, they're at the top lane, ganking the Yuzong. So a little bit difficult for Outwit Esports to keep up with it,
I
especially.
think what they did right here while drafting, banning the Lolita was the best decision they made because, in my opinion, the Lolita would have been great right there. And we are right here going back to the match to see what they're gonna do to that Tirithel.
Alright, so I think the pause just messed up Rockstar Alfie just a little bit, but no harm done. To be honest, I think just gonna go back. Erythel, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think she is a threat or should be a threat at any stage of the game. I've used her, I've tried her at I've tested her damage at every point of the game, and tried to notice when her actual power spike is. It's just this hero is so bad at the moment. I don't think, like, if you're forced in a situation where you have to use her, you might as well just not use her. Use like a Ruby, use a Glue. My you are
They
gonna
have a
get taken
team of
out.
five.
Yeah, we did the dawn as well from the portal gonna come through. Use Zong might just come with it, but no, Roxa Alfie gonna fall in the middle lane. Okay, we're gonna see another pause coming through. Just
Did you know that one of the safe picks against Vixana is just Cecilion? In late game, Vixana is helpless against Cecilion. I've seen it with my eyes. His ult just destroyed the Vixana, man.
that's assuming that you want to go for a 1v1. The main thing for a Vexana, I believe, in terms of 5Q, it's that really hard lock CC that also gives the front line, similar to.
Even,
Ooh,
even when she does this while she's doing her combo in that like second at the same time, one hit from the Sicilian can take like 80% per HP. Even while he's building that the tank build,
yeah,
he will be stacked to the limit. So one hit can be like the end of the match for the Vixana.
that is
But
true.
as we know, killing Vixana won't kill her all, so she will still have the front line for the team. That's why she's banned nowadays, and having her is really a great advantage.
Yeah, it depends. She definitely complements a lot of team compositions, right? So she's there for the engage, she's there for the disengage, she's there for the follow up. as well. So she can be used for different scenarios, and as you saw, the passive is really strong. And even if she dies, we do have the Eternal Guard that's still on the map, that's constantly supplying that passive to everything it hits. So if, for
That's true.
example, the Vixana dies, the Eternal Guard is still smacking the opponent in the
Great
middle of a
kitchen.
team fight,
Yeah,
and yeah, if kills are picked off and they close range to each other, it it can be quite deadly for them. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the items. Trevor picks up the Sky Piercer as his first item. Mayua, I think he's going for the Blade of Epicures. We have the Roger with the Wind Talker, and Rox Alfie is seeming to build the Dominance Ice as the first item just to deal with the Matilda's sustainability for her team, right? I'm not sure if Oasis wants to go for this turtle. Rox Alfie taking quite low. Trevor gets a good retribution on it, but Rox Alfie will fall for that. In the bottom lane though, Danny taking a lot of damage from Itami, and will fall as well with the lightning pounce and some damage on top of that. And in the top lane, Godskov might just get taken out here. The Tempest Blade is gonna come through. Trevor, hey, he failed on that one. Gave Godskov some HP to get back, but Anti-Pipe in the back put in a lot of pressure. Does have the Eternal Guard available, but won't commit it at this moment, as Mayua are gonna zone off the members of Outwits Esports to claim the tier 1 turrets. Rockstar Alfie wants to claim Loki, gets the kill with the portal as well, trying to get Master Chris, but Outwits Esports will disengage as Rockstar Alfie will be taken low. Oh, Danny gets taken out once again with the help of the Eternal God, so that's not good. Not good at all.
I think that Ling not picking the double kill right there was because he's nervous at some point. I don't know. The only explanation I have is that he's nervous for not picking a double kill, which is gonna be really helpful, even that it's only a double kill to the enemies.
Yeah, but Itami will be punished for his overextending right there, and gets shut down basically. Master Chris gonna fall as well. Okay, we're gonna have the sandstorm coming through by Mayua. Misses his mark. Rockstar Alfie is quite low, but in the bottom lane, Danny able to get a 1v1 on the Vixana. Not even able to pick up to use the Eternal Guard, I think, or maybe just don't have it available. In the top lane though, Outwits Esports will go for the turtle.
I think they should give every turtle this match because the front line and the sustain on the enemy team is just crazy. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, they get the turtle. The Persona Welcome gonna come through, and that is on the Vixana, actually. She gets taken down. Gorskov is on Mayua, keeping him distracted right there. I feel like Outwits Esports will manage to get this tier 1 turret, but Rockstar will be trying to zone them as much as they can. And that honestly, the tier 1 turret is as good as gone, right? Trevor gonna come in, use the Tempest of Blaze, but Wind of Nature saving Danny. Rockstar Alfie gonna be next in the dropping block. Danny doesn't have enough damage and gonna fall to Itami with that Sky Piercer. So now we see how bad of a marksman Eretal actually is, right? Looking at the items, has the House Claws, has the Wind of Nature. Honestly, doesn't have any damage items that actually bring out Eretal's power, but even then, still lackluster, right? For Eretal, you want to have the Windtalker, you want to have the Berserker's Fury, the Great Dragon Spear as well. Oh, Eternal Guard gonna come through onto Godskov. Didn't even have a chance to. Okay, so
Another pause right here at the middle of a team fight. Technical issues, I guess. A pause in such place can really mess up the match, but we will see the reason behind it shortly.
Alright. We did have a pause from either team. Um, like both teams already. Each team has two pauses. I'm just gonna check who got the pause now. That's very weird. Okay. Alright. So we will be going into the game shortly. Let's have a quick look at what's going on. Alright. Okay. So going back. Alright. So yeah, let's have another look at the items right here. Thunderbelts and War Axe locked in for the Barat. So we can already assume that he's going to be locked in for the damage. Sustainability on the other hand, we'll have to wait for a while. Danny, in a little bit of danger, does manage to use his ultimate to get away. And yeah, that's the Sky Piercer locked in for the Rogers. So he's going to be a bit of a menace to deal with coming through. I think we're gonna see the Flask of Oasis being rushed by Matilda, so any moment now we should be seeing a little bit more sustain coming through for the side of Outwit Esports. I feel like it just gets better for Outwit Esports, right? Rather than for Oasis. Now Rockstar Alfie putting a lot of pressure in the back line. The Thorn's Welcome gonna come through as Mayua barely manages to escape. Temperature Blaze is going to come through as well. Petrified. Dr. Alfie gets taken down. Mia as well for the side. Bouts with Esports. Mayua will get slain by Sicilian. Sicilian starting to shine right now. Doing his bit. But
I think the reason they are equal right now on this match because the Rethel is getting zoned out while both teams are fighting. So she isn't dealing damage, she's just watching from behind in hope that she would walk in at some point and deal some damage, but that's not what she's doing right now.
yeah, I think she definitely needs to find an angle to actually approach this team fight. That last one was a little bit messy in terms of where they were fighting. Right. But yeah, let's just see. Having another quick look at the items, we do have the Wind Talker, so that's a little bit of extra damage going through for the side of Danny on the Erythal. And Flask of Oasis still in progress for the Matilda. Does have the Enchanted Talisman for that cooldown, you know. And sufficient amount of anti-heal for Outwit for Oasis. So let's just see. The gold is pretty much equal. We have Rockstar Alfie situation on the opposite side of the map. I don't think they have scouted him out, but we might just be able to go for a flank here. I think Outwit Esports is just claiming that side. where that teleporting is, just for no surprises. That's actually good. And I think my Yuva gonna use a sandstorm to just escape. Danny gonna get taken out with the eternal guard. A little bit too greedy right there, but my Yuva taken out as a trade. Rockstar Alfie in the back line will get hit by the Donor's welcome. Stunned up, Tempest Blaze gonna come through. Petrify, not hitting its North Trevor. Quite low as well, has to back off. Now Rockstar Alfie looking for a little bit more. Will disengage. Itami, I don't even see Itami coming through. How did he die? Did he die in that team fight?
I have no idea.
I didn't see him. All I know is
I think he went out in the portal or something, then just disappeared at some point.
I know he was pushing the tier 2 turret in the bottom lane, and after that I don't know. I don't know how he died. Even though I was just thinking, oh, I'm gonna see him in the bottom lane, and then next thing I know, he's dead. Okay, Rockstar Alfie might just be in a little bit dangerous situation. The Donor's welcome gonna come through, locks him down. He gets taken out. Mayua not able to save him up. Mayua exploded as well, but at least Oasis did manage to get the Lord. So Outwits Esports, they won't be able to capitalize on the 3v5 situation, because they will have the flames to deal with, the Lord to deal with. This is an enhanced Lord. Oh, Danny taking a lot of damage from
As we can see, Ling is easily picking them up right there.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Loki wasn't able to provide more support to Danny in that situation. Okay, Loki gonna get taken out by Itami. Eternal Guard gonna come through onto Monster first, and he will fall as well. And now the tables have turned into a situation where Oasis is the one that can push now.
That's quite surprising.
Yeah, Outwits Esports, they have that law to deal with. The inhibitor gonna be pushed in. Danny will come through now, so they might have the ability to save the inhibitor turret, but I don't think so. They should at least be able to save the one at the top, at the very least. But yeah, Outwits Esports in a very dangerous situation right now, as they deal with two broken inhibitor turrets and one basically half HP. Now the chip actually comes into play in a situation like this, where a Roger, a Ling, even a Khalid can just go and push in the bottom lane, keep putting pressure on that. If Outwits Esports focus their attention on the person who's split pushing, then that's easy for Oasis to just go ahead and claim the next Lord, right? If Outwits Esports focus their attention on the Lord, then one member of Oasis can just go in for the split push, alright? If they send one person to deal, or even two people to deal with the guy who's split pushing, then Oasis can force an engage at the Lord and utilize the portal from Chip to bring that split pusher and just wipe them out in a 5v4 before.
I think Sicilian is gonna be the winning card right there, because it's getting to late game. As we can see, 16 minutes in, Sicilian is getting stacks. So when you have a team fight next to the Lord, what you need to do is pick up the link. The first thing you need to do is just kill the link before he kills your Sicilian.
To be honest, at this point, I would just take care of the chip first and foremost.
I mean, it's a team fight. You don't really need to pick up the chip.
Donor's welcome, not gonna be able to hit on the wall. Trevor gonna be zoned off the turtle. I mean the Lord, actually. Baras takes the Lord. Mayua gonna use the sandstorm with the flicker. Managed to get a kill onto Barat, but Danny with a double kill as revenge. Master Chris are able to get a kill. Danny with the triple kill, trying to chase Itami but won't pursue. And now they do have the enhanced load, just gonna prepare for that to come through.
As we saw, they tried to pick up the Sicilian, but they failed and they ended up like getting almost wiped. If it wasn't for the Roger running away and the Big Sana just moving out, which was a great decision.
Yeah, they rather deal with this defense. I mean, this is a Vixana. Danny, a little bit, Trevor gonna come through, gets a double kill. Might just get a triple onto Danny, but he just has too much damage at the moment. But great base defense, not losing a single inhibitor to that siege. Danny just overcommitting right there. Instead of taking that inhibitor, being disciplined about that situation. And no pressure in the bottom lane or the top lane as well, so we can already see badly managed waves to utilize this Lord, unfortunately. So Outwit Esports, they're just gonna have to try again. Alright, but I think at this point of the game, it's 18 minutes in. Nobody wants to really commit on a team fight unless it's a kickoff at this point, because of course we have the Sicilians to deal with. It's really strong. So Oasis being really careful about it. Of course we have the Tithonus welcome on the Barats as well. So as you can see, Oasis is stationed around the chip in case the Barats uses the Tithonus welcome onto him to just lock him down. Then they can follow up with it. They will decide to disengage.
Both teams playing safe right there so that they can actually compete next to the Lord and not just die randomly and with one of the teams just finishing with no Lord.
Yeah, similar to what we saw in the previous game, but Oasis did manage to put some pressure in the top lane, keeping Danny there for the time being. Rockstar Alfie is taking quite a lot of damage right here. Winter Crown will come through. Not sure if he'll be able to use a portal in time, but he does use his
Chip made it out right there.
Yeah, a little bit weird. I mean, it would have been amazing for Outwits Esports to actually take him off at that point. But I think they're going on the aggressive right here as the Black Dragon form going to be used up for portal as well to Rockstar Alfie, but he gets taken out. Mayua on the back line on Danny. We have the Wind of Nature plus the fastest plus Oasis that's sustaining him, but Goshkov in the front makes anti-pipe low, but he gets taken out as a consequence. I think Oasis might just be looking for a backdoor play. Danny doesn't have the Wind of Nature. Itami doesn't have the damage to take him out.
Took him out right there.
Yeah, I think just overestimated the damage of Roger, underestimated the damage of the Erythal. And this should be prime time for Outwits Esports to actually take this Lord. And let's just have a quick look at the items. We have the... Okay, so this is not a build that I'm used to seeing on a Roger. I'm not sure how much of stacks he has in the Sky Piercer, right? But I'm quite sure
he has 26.
Oh, can you see that?
Yeah, you can. It has 26 stacks on it, and the Link has 51 stacks.
Alright, so 26 stacks, you lose about 8, so he must have had about 34.
He switched up the build. That's what we need to see right there.
Yeah.
He switched up his build.
So, yeah, he's just gonna take out the Sky Piercer because he already knows it's not doing much for him at this moment. Gonna have the Circling Eagle gonna come through onto Mayua, just putting a little bit of pressure right there. The Lord crashes into the middle lane. The portal in the back line for Danny. The Thomas welcome gonna come through. Rockstar Alfie gonna use the Wind Crown. Tempest of Blades forced out of this lane. And yeah, Itami looking for a back play, uses the Wind of Nature, will get taken out with the magic damage from the Sicilian plus the Matilda. And this might just be looking like a game 3, but no, Masterclass get taken out, so does the Barrage. Now Loki left alive, Godskov, I don't know where is Godskov. He's been pushing, I see. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure now. 40-second timers for the remaining members of Outwits Esports. Might just be dangerous. He does have the Black Dragon form, maybe an outplay. They do need to be careful of their top lane though. I feel like he's easily cleared by Goskov if he plays this right. I mean, just use the Black Dragon form and go in for the clear. Eternal Guard gonna come through, Petrify. Okay, so I think it's just
It's a GG.
yeah. He used the Black Dragon form way too late. Way too late.
He shouldn't have let the minion enter the field.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like Outwit Esports would have won that. They did have a slow push on the top lane that Oasis did completely ignore, and there was some time I think for the remaining members to come through. So, oh, that was just terrible decision making from Godskov. Could have just saved the game completely. At the same time,
He also could have joined his teammates for the team fight right there, but he decided to go and defend. It was like a bad decision.
But at the same time, I do feel like Outwit Esports overcommitted, knowing that the EXP laner is putting pressure on the other lanes. Of course,
That is true.
the bottom lane, the tier 1 turret was still standing, right? You can't just expect to end with the tier 1 turret still standing. It's quite rare. So, of course, when you're trying to end the game, at least you want like 2 inhibitors, especially in a close game like this. I mean, already you can see it's a 22-minute game in a meta that is more fast-paced, right? So in this meta, heroes like Nathan is not used often because by the time Nathan gets his power spike after that Holy Crystal, I don't think there's even a game, right? Usually the games end between the 15 to the 18 minutes, maybe 20-minute max.
Especially with the Holy Crystal being 3k of gold. This is too expensive for me.
Yeah, and yeah, so already a close game like this, overcommitting when your Yuzong, your EXP laner, isn't there, and just through the game, unfortunately, Outwit Esports not having the correct decision making. But yeah, I'm glad to see some good games right here tonight on.
I'm glad to see such bans and such picks, especially that I'm from a different server, and this really gives me ideas to play my own game differently.
Yeah, and of course, as well, I learned a couple of things also from these type of drafts. I've seen the Odette in the gold lane. So that one was a little bit weird for me to kind of, but I just thought about it for a second and I thought, you know what, Odette does have good damage, you know. Even though her ultimate, the Swan Song, is easily cancelled by knockup, you can just micro yourself with that. Even a few seconds on that ultimate is enough to do permanent damage in a team fight.
That's true. And what surprised me most the last match is how the Erythel was able to pick up the Roger pretty easily.
Yeah,
Even without her Wind of Nature, as we saw, Roger has Wind of Nature and she didn't. Still killed him with full HP, no problem, no issues. Which was pretty much interesting.
yeah, I think it was bad. Okay, so for me it looked quite easy for Irithel, right? But at the same time, you must understand the passive of Roger, where The human form does damage based on, if I'm not mistaken, current HP,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
and the wolf form does damage based on missing HP. So if you turn into the wolf form before their HP reaches the halfway point, I feel like you're wasting your time. And
Thing is, he did lower her to half her HP,
but she
but
sustained
she
it.
one hit exactly.
Yeah.
The minions once full HP again, and he had nothing to do right there. He just tried to run off, but it was just helpless.
Yeah, reading the situation, she did use the ult. The ult on every basic attack is an AoE attack, which means more sustain coming in from that Haas clause as well as of the Wind of Nature. So I think if you wanted to go for a 1v1, probably needed to have the Sea Halberd to deal with that sustain. But of course, we don't find too much of the Irithel picks nowadays, so maybe he just didn't know the potential of the Irithel in the late game, you know.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, all right, so that'll be the only game that we're doing tonight, and thank you guys for joining us. Do remember the giveaway on the NMA Discord server. Just subscribe to the channel, take a screenshot, and send it on the Mobile Legends chat. And if you liked the stream, please do, well, like it. uh, Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and we'll be seeing you for the next stream. And that's Fade and I fading out.
Thank